Hi guys, how are you? Pattern-collections.com is where you want to be. Scroll down to pattern focus, which is right here on the top. It's not that far down. Scroll down to today's pattern, which we are going July 14th. And it is called For Shelly. And the challenge is to add a circle to the center before adding the line in step 5. So there is no videos attached to this one yet. So we're on our own as far as that goes. So it's a grid pattern. First thing we're going to do is draw our grid. I think I'm going to leave it in pencil, because sometimes I like the grid pattern not to have the grid lines in it. And then you're supposed to do like parallel lines from the diagonal in every other square, and then skip a row, and then every other square and skip a row. But then you go the other way, and the other way, and the other way. So basically you want to make a square this way and then fill in these corners with the stripes. Okay, I think that's how I'm going to do it. So then in step 5, our challenge is, before we do these cross lines, is to put a circle there, and then this is the finished product. Okay, but if you don't put these lines, the grid lines, as solid, you get a little bit different effect, and I'm going to try that. I may end up putting them back in, but I'm going to do them with pencil. So let's do that, and let's help me remember to do that circle in step 5. I want a relatively large piece of paper. Let's see, what color do I want? Maybe not that one. Let's see. Let's go over into this pile. We've done green recently, but we haven't done this light green. Let's do this light green. Okay, light green. Turn on my light. Zoom you guys out, because for some reason you're all way too close. Okay, grid. What size is this piece of paper? It's a 5.5 by 5.5. So I can easily just do 1/2 inch lines for the grid, right? Since it is a 5.5. So let's do that. Just drawing this very lightly. Every 1/2 inch. You can do whatever you want. And I'm not exactly accurate, because I know that's not a whole 1/2 inch over there, but close enough. Could I have pre-planned this and had this all drawn out for you before I start? Yes, I could have. But I choose to do my videos in real time, without edits and jump cuts and stuff, for more than one reason. Most obvious reason is it makes it easier for me without having to edit. That is just fact. But it also gives you guys an idea of real time how long it takes to draw a drawing of whatever complexity the drawing is. So if my video is an hour, it's going to take you an hour. If my video's 30 minutes, it's going to only take you 30 minutes. If it's a 12-minute video, it's a fast one, it's only going to take you 12 minutes. From start to finish, including me blabbing along. So there's that. Okay, so now I want to, with my pencil, indicate these diagonals. It's going to be here, 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 and here. Here, 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 and here. Just like that. Just so I remember that that's what I'm doing. Doing it very gently with my pencil. Quick and fast. They're not necessarily exactly in the right spot. I think I want to draw in a different color besides black today. Let me get out my PN pen and draw in blue. I'm going to draw in blue today. Why? I don't know. That's just my preference today. So it's a micron PN is what I'm going to draw with today. I'm just going to draw in blue because I feel like it. Okay, so we're just going to fill in these corners. And it is easier to keep everything all in one direction. That keeps your angles more consistent. So I will do all of them going this way, and then I will turn my page and do them all the other directions. Just like so. All right, let's do a question while we're doing this. If you had to name the single most important quality of a good mate, what would it be? Honesty. Straight up. If you and your mate can be honest with one another, everything else can be worked on. But if you can't be honest with each other, then all portions of your life are just a mess. Because then you don't know when they're honest and when they're not honest, and you lose trust. To me, honesty is where you gain trust. And even if you or your partner has done something that like if I've done something that I know will make my husband upset, I've made a poor choice, and he's going to be mad at me. He can get past it if I'm honest with him and just own up to it and say, I did something stupid and you're going to be mad at me, but this is what I did. Instead of, oh no, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? And then he finds out that that is what I did, and then he doesn't trust me anymore. Yeah, that's the number one most important thing, I think. And if you own up to your stuff and take the consequences, first off, you would do less stuff that you shouldn't. And secondly, people would trust you and say, when they say something, they mean it. And when they've done something wrong, they own it. So when they say they haven't done something wrong, you can believe them. That's hard. That's hard in this world. So many people lie. Sometimes most of the time lying is for your own preservation. Sometimes it's just something that you've learned how to do over a period of time. Sometimes you lie by you think you're going to not hurt somebody's feelings by lying. You're societally, we're taught, if somebody says, how does this look? And, if they look terrible, you're taught not to say, oh, you look terrible. You're taught to couch it in different terms. And some people are even taught to just say, oh, you look wonderful no matter what. I don't want my husband to tell me I look wonderful no matter what. I want him to say, you have a bit of food in your teeth, or your collar has turned sideways, or I don't like those two colors together. Now, he could say that to me, and I could say, okay, but I do. Or I could say, you know what, you're right, this isn't working. But he could be honest with me, There are times where you have to just kind of shut up and not say anything. Like when I'm at work with customer service, yeah. Sometimes it's better just not to have engage in that conversation at all. And then you don't have to lie, because you just didn't say anything. And it's okay to say, I don't know, as the answer to a question, too. Because rather than making something up, a lot of people make stuff up when they just don't know the answer, and I think they feel like they're feeling stupid because they maybe feel like they should know, so they just make something up. It's okay to just say, I don't know. Sometimes you can say, well, you know, I don't know that, but I'll ask my boss or another coworker or something. Sometimes you can just say, I don't know, but let's Google the answer. I don't know. I am not all-knowing. But don't make stuff up just because you don't want to look stupid. Most of the time, lying has to do with your own vanity. As well, you don't want to get in trouble and you don't want to look stupid. I get it. I don't want to look stupid either, and I don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, I've just been going on and on about lying. Perhaps that's not what you came here for. Can you even see what I'm doing? Yes, okay. I was afraid that I had gone out of frame too. This is going to take a while. So if you guys want to fast forward to the next step, feel free. Next question. If the world could henceforth have only one single art form, what do you think it should be? Well, that's a silly question. I couldn't even get rid of one art form. How am I going to keep only one art form and get rid of all the others? Oy, oy, oy. Can I just be general and just say drawing would need to stay? Clearly, I want to draw. But see, even within drawing, there's different kinds of drawing. So there's pattern art like what we do here. There's, life form drawing. There's landscapes. There's realistic. There's abstract. There's all sorts of drawing. Pen and ink, charcoal, colored pencil. I guess if I was vague with it and just said drawing, I could still have a lot of different kinds of art in our lives. But it would not be enough. We need musicians. We need videographers. We need painters. We need all of them. We need them all. Graphic artists and all. We just need them all. All right, next square. This one. I'm trying to line them up as best I can with over here, but I don't have to do them exactly. That's just too hard. My eyes can't follow that. So I'm just trying to keep my lines consistent in size and distance, and they should line up pretty well. But if they don't, it's okay. Your eye will fill it in. If you had been the original designer of one existing corporate logo, which would you select? Ooh. So basically, you're asking me, what's my favorite corporate logo? Gosh. what I find very clever is the current logo of HP. It's simple. I find it to be very clever. Have you guys seen the current HP logo? The only reason I think about it is because that's my laptop. I see it every day when I turn on my computer. And every time I see it, I think, you know, that was a very clever design. And I know that that's not the original design from that corporation. Matter of fact, a lot of designs over the years have changed. Corporations have changed their logos to, you know, kind of match up with current trends. Gotta keep changing it up. Although some things are just so iconic, you really can't change it that much. Can't get rid of it altogether or it wouldn't be the same. Like the golden arches of McDonald's. That golden M is iconic. Things around it have changed, but the M itself pretty much the same. Oop, I'm a little off. Oh well. That one's just going to have to be a little off. If you could only wear one color besides black or white for the rest of your life, what color would you wear? Most of my wardrobe is either blue or pink, and I think I would choose the blue. But when we went on vacation, I have one blue long-sleeved SPF 50. It's like a lightweight shirt from, I think it's from Colombia. But it's an SPF 50 shirt that I wear a lot when I'm going to be outside. It's lightweight enough that even in the heat, it's not too hot. But then I don't have to worry so much about sunscreen and reapplying and all of that because it covers my arms. And I have two, one in blue and one in pink. And so when I went on vacation, we were going to Florida, I planned my whole wardrobe around blue and pink so that I could have that long sleeve shirt over the top of my outfits at all times when we were out and about. Went to the Space Center, went to Universal Studios, and yep, I was out in the sun a lot. And yep, I do slather on the sunscreen, but I am just really worried about my arms being really in the sun. I wore a hat and wore my outer jacket. Not really a jacket, my outer sunscreen garment. But I would, if I had to choose and I had to keep only one of those colors, I would keep blue. Black, white, and blue. All shades of blue. Doesn't say I couldn't have different shades of blue. Navy blues, light blues, kind of bluish greens, purplish blues. There's lots of different kinds of blue. If you had to eat in only one restaurant for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Ugh. we don't go out often enough for me to choose something. Trying to think of one that's got a lot of variety. I think I would say IHOP, because they have breakfast, lunches, and dinners that I would eat. Some places are my favorite for dinner. Some places are my favorite for lunch. IHOP's my favorite breakfast place, but they also have other things that you could choose for lunches and dinners and not have to eat the same thing every day. No, I would say IHOP. That was an easier answer than I thought. This is taking a while, so if you guys do this one, just remember all these little stripes are going to take a while to do. Oh, I think we're done. This is the last one for this. Okay. There we go. So those are filled in, and if you look really close, they don't all line up. Like, they line up fairly well, but they don't all line up. Like here, they're not all lined up. But when you go back, you don't see that. Okay? Now, the next step, my phone turned off, is that step number 5, and they are suggesting we put a circle first before we put the radiating lines. So inside here, we want a circle. There's only half of that one. Most of these are pretty circular. They're not exact, but they're pretty good. The more you practice doing circles, the better you get at them. Okay, and now we want the radiating lines, because on the next step, on step 6, we need to color them every other one. So we do need this line, this line, this line, that one, and then there's one in between. Isn't there? Yes, there is. Okay. That's what we're wanting. Okay. I think we're getting there. This is one of those fiddly ones. It's got lots of little lines. We can do it. It's not hard. Just has a lot. That's all. Alrighty, let's see. If you had to be represented by an object in your home, what would you choose? There is a big painting I did in my bedroom, and that is what I would choose. It has me all in it. Has some graphical representations, colors, textures, patterns. I really like it. And it's big too. It's you can't miss it. It was the biggest canvas I could get in my car. So I think I want to say it's 4 foot by 5 foot. .48 by 72. Something like that. It's really big. It's a really big canvas. And it took me a long time to do it. But I'm really proud of it, how it came out. And that's what I would use to represent myself. Using one object in my house. Are we coming along here? We are coming along. And then we're going to have to color in because you'll note step 6 has us coloring in bits and pieces. Every other one. So we will have to do that as well. I think I'm going to have to get my markers out though, because this little pen will just take ages to color in. Okay, and this one's called For Shelly. Okay, now I want to color in the bits back here that I'm supposed to color. I'm going to put my blue pen away. I'm going to erase all my guidelines because I don't need them anymore. You probably can't see them at all. I can barely see them, but they're there. And then what color am I going to color in? You know, I think I'm going to color gray. I know that seems kind of weird, but I think I'm going to color gray. I'm going to use my Faber-Castell Pet cold gray pen. And basically, we're going to color every other one of these. So let's do... that, and then I can follow that pattern in all these other ones. So it's this one and this one. I haven't used these Pitt pens in a while. That's good. Glad to be using them. Use your art supplies. Don't just hoard them. They do dry up and go bad if you don't use them. So you might as well use them. Don't just let them decorate your shelves. As pretty as they are to have things just around that look beautiful, if you don't use them, they're not useful. They're not, that's a waste of money. My problem is that I don't have as much time to art as I'd like to. So I don't use things up as often as I'd like, but that's a me problem. So that gives me this one. And this one. All right, another question. Oh my goodness. Now, look, the questions were nice and easy, and now you got to give me a hard one. I don't want to think about this. I'll go ahead and do it, but I don't want to think about it. If you could have changed any one thing about the death of one of your relatives, what would you alter? And that's super easy. That would be Aunt Betty. She passed away of COVID. About a year ago. Has it really just been a year? Feels like forever. Gosh, now I'm getting sad. Yeah, it's been a little bit over a year. But it was during the beginning parts of the pandemic, and they wouldn't let anybody in to see her or be with her. She had she'd actually had a stroke, and during the time of her recovery from the stroke, nobody was allowed to see her. Because nobody was allowed into nursing homes at that time, so nobody was allowed to see her. And then she contracted COVID and got pneumonia and passed. And I don't know. She also was suffering from dementia, and so it was just so hard because she couldn't be with people that she remembered. You know, she was getting to that point where she didn't recognize people, and so she was always with people that she didn't know who they were. She couldn't see her children for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months of her life. And yeah, I would have changed that. I'm sorry I've gotten all sad on you. But the terrible things that people have had to go through in this last year just makes me sad. All right, let's move on to another question so I don't have to deal with sad anymore. If you had been the reporter to have broken one news event during your lifetime, what would you like it to have been? Let's go to a happier news event. I would love to have been a reporter at the first space shuttle launch. That would have been awesome. Yep. I can just see it now. I would love to see a space shuttle launch. Of course, the space shuttles aren't launching anymore, so I don't know if I told you guys this. When we went to Florida and we went to the Space Center, we came out of into the Atlantis exhibition, which is absolutely awesome. If you guys ever have an opportunity to go to the Kennedy Space Center, that Atlantis exhibit is spectacular. Don't miss it. You don't get a whole lot of time there at the Space Center. You really need 2 days to see everything, but that Atlantis exhibit is awesome. But we came out of there and I saw off to my side who I thought was, a NASA employee. They were wearing a NASA employee shirt and they were giving like a guided tour to a small group of people, 4 people. And I thought that was cool. And I thought to myself, gee, I wonder how you get a special guided tour like that. And then I overheard that not only was it a guided tour by a NASA employee, but that employee had been on the Space Shuttle Atlantis during its time. She was an astronaut. And she was talking about her experiences, what it felt like to be in the shuttle during launch, what it felt like to be in the shuttle during descent, what it was like to be in zero gravity for an extended period of time, her own personal experiences, and I was riveted. Now, I was kind of just listening out of the corner of my ear and standing near them and not acknowledging that I was hearing everything that they were saying. But I was absolutely enthralled. So, yeah, I would love to have been there to see the launch of the first space shuttle. That was momentous. To be able to have a reusable vehicle that we went up into space and back again, and that we used it over again. That was momentous for the time. And what they're doing now with SpaceX and stuff, and not only reusing the manned portion of the vehicle, but to be able to reuse the rockets, super cool. The way they're catching them on that platform out in the ocean, it just comes back and lands. Oh, that just amazes me. I am so excited about that. And would I go up into space and be a space traveler? Yeah. Yeah, I would. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. But I would go. Would I go for a long time, like for an extended trip like Mars or something? No. But would I go on that, trip that who was it? They just did with Bezos? Would I go on that? Yes, I would. Okay. So now I need to fill in the middle of these ones with this gray. Because that's also in this sample on step number 6. And then I'll probably come in with my pencil and I'm going to do some shading inside these little circles and on the spokes of these squares, and then I'll be done. Maybe I'll come in with a little bit of white and highlight, but for the most part, I think I'm about done. Okay. Now I want to do, let's put that away so I don't lose it. Very gentle. Line going through here. It's not going to be a lot. It's just going to be a little bit. And then a line going this way. And then a little bit of shading on my circles. Just a smudge. Just to make them more roundy. Okay, let's do that. I could go down the whole thing. Let's just do that. Just like that. And then a little bit of shading for the orbs. They might be a little too dark, but it's all right. I'm going to come back in here with a little bit of white highlight. And then my white. Oh, it's almost been an hour. Wow. This one's taken a long time. I knew it was going to take a long time, but it's taken even longer than I had anticipated. Sorry, folks, for the length of time, but I have to get a move on here because I don't have that much time to finish. Just some highlight. And it's not on the whole thing. And if it skips a little, that's okay. Just want to try to keep it inside the square. Just a highlight right on the edge. Just like that. All right. She's done. That took a long time. Okay, sorry that took so long, folks. I'm glad you stuck with me. If you watched all the way to the end, give me a comment down below that says, I'm still here. I watched the whole thing. Superstars you are. You guys are. If you skipped through, that's okay too. Put a comment in the bottom that says, I watched most of it, but I skipped through to the end. That's okay. I love you guys. You guys have a great day. I will see you on the next video. Go out and do something nice for someone today, okay? And let's make the world a better place.